On a blustery evening many years ago, I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. As a little kid, I would always love to sneak up to my attic and play. I would always look out the window and daydream. I wouldn't be looking at the clouds and dreaming of Care Bears or being a princess or anything like that, though. A child raised in Milwaukee would never be so romantic. Milwaukee epitomized the working class. It was a working class town that put a little chip on your shoulder and a little swag in your walk, and it was a town that taught you, and if it taught you anything, it taught you to revere beer and baseball. And that is what I dreamed about as a little kid. From one of the windows, I could see the tallest flying signs in town, the Pabst and the Miller signs. I dreamed about one day being old enough to laugh in bars with my friends and throw darts around, and I knew that this was what happened in bars because back then it was okay to bring your kids with you when you went out. I had my favorite bar stool and my favorite local dive bar, and a bucket of kids' toys to play with while I ordered Shirley Temples in the corner. Out of the other window, I could see the most majestic thing in the world. I could see the tallest corner of Milwaukee County Stadium, home to my heroes, the Milwaukee Brewers. My most prized possession was my Brewers baseball cap, which I would wear all the time, and I would cry and fight with my mom when she wanted me to take it off to wash my hair or, look like a girl for a few minutes. And I dreamed of being the first ever Major League Baseball player that was a woman. And I dreamed of visiting Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, and for some weird reason, I really liked Rob Deere. Going there was like going to my church. Everything about Milwaukee County Stadium embraced the kind of people that lived there. We walked through gravel parking lots, showed up a little bit dirty, adults cheered like angry sailors, and it was beautiful. Right down to the mascot, Bernie Brewer. A cheerful man with a big mustache that lived in a beer barrel chalet. After each home run and victory, he would slide down and plunge himself into a huge beer mug of celebration as the crowd would go wild. And he also had a lady friend named Bonnie Brewer who would spank the opposing team's third base coach with a broom at the end of games. I mean, what could be more American? What could be more Milwaukee? I couldn't wait to grow up and have Bernie Brewer go down that slide for me, the first female pro baseball player for the Brewers ever. But it got even better. Beyond Bernie and Bonnie, the Brewers also embraced another vital part of their heritage when they started having live sausage races before the sixth inning match game. The sausage mascots race at full speed around the stadium as the crowd cheers for their heritage. At the beginning, there were 3 sausages. Number 1 was Brett Wurst, who was a bratwurst and wears green Astro-Bavarian lederhosen. Number 2 is Stash, who is a Polish sausage and wears dark sunglasses and a blue and red rugby shirt. He is my personal favorite and representative of my Polish heritage. And number 3 is Guido, who is an Italian sausage and wears a chef's outfit. In the last 15 years, they have also added Frankie Furter, a hot dog in a baseball uniform, and Cinco, a chorizo wearing a sombrero. When I was in elementary school, we moved from Milwaukee to a small town. I was absolutely devastated. I got beat up on my first day when I asked where the bubbler was, and a farm boy called me a city slicker and hit me in the stomach. One thing I did love was summer baseball, though. I mean, I was a magnificent beast, and I was able to sign up for multiple teams in this small town. My first summer, I got placed on the advanced team with all the boys that were my age, 3 years older than me. The thing about the small town that we moved to was that it was closer to Minneapolis than it was to Milwaukee. So I encountered Wisconsin Twins fans for the very first time. And there was just this ruthless Twins fan on my team. He taunted me endlessly. And one day I got so fed up with him telling me that girls can't play baseball that I turned around and smacked him in the stomach with a bat, asking him how it felt to have a girl use him as a baseball. He went to his dad crying as everybody laughed at him, and I felt really proud until I found out that he was the son of my dad's new boss. I continued having a very successful run on the boys' team through the 6th grade. when I was even good enough to make the boys' all-city traveling team. It really was the best summer of my life. At the end of the season, the director of Parks and Rec wanted to have a meeting with me, and I just knew it just had to be great news. I knew she wanted to talk to me about my off-season training because I was going to move up to the Big Pony League next year, and so I went in and I was prepared for all the glory in the world. Our meeting was nothing like I expected. She started off by telling me that I was old enough to graduate to the Pony League, yes, but that it was an exclusive traveling league. And so they had to adhere to rules outside the Park and Rec, and one of the rules was no girls. I couldn't believe it. I was being told I couldn't travel on the team. She went on to say that there was good news though. My involvement with baseball had made the Parks and Rec decide that they were going to start a new girls softball team and I would get to be the captain. This was disgraceful news to me. I was going to have to play with people who had not been training their whole lives, and that stupid ball was so big, and the worst part, it wasn't even fast pitch. I mean, come on. I launched into a Great Depression. I played softball for 2 seasons on 2 of the worst teams ever to play the game. My glove that I loved, the glove that I slept with, that I sniffed each morning, that I tied baseballs in during the off-season, didn't fit softballs too well, so I started making errors in the outfield, and I played so hard that I pulled a tendon in my arm and I had to stop for a while, and you know what, I just never went back. Softball was not baseball. I moved to a new town for high school and I retired my Brewers baseball cap. I didn't talk about my love for baseball, and for the first time in my life, I felt the ache of dreams that weren't going to come true. High school came and went and college started. And on a long weekend, I was visiting friends at St. Thomas, and they decided that we should go to a cheap college night at the Twins game. I hadn't really spent much time in the cities beyond seeing some plays and going to museums on field trips. So we were walking to the stadium through this big city, and I was confused that I couldn't hear the announcers or the fans. And I asked where the stadium was, and my friend pointed at the dome. But where do they play? And then he pointed again. Why is there a roof on that thing? I'd forgotten that the Twins played inside. It was right then that I started to relapse to those days all those years ago when I was told I couldn't play baseball anymore. I was outraged. Baseball is about being gritty, about getting dirty. Baseball does not happen indoors. My fit started as we left the daylight to enter the stale air and continued to our seats so far back, way too far to ever catch a ball. I sat down with a pretzel and tried to placate myself, when all of a sudden one of the most offensive things I've ever seen happened. Out he walked, so proper, so big-eyed and dumb-looking. It was as if I was peering into an empty soul where a proper mascot should be. It was right then that TC Bear, the Twins mascot, was jogging around the stadium with a stupid t-shirt launcher. What the hell is that thing supposed to be, I asked. And I got told that that was the Twins' new mascot. It was the year 2000 and the Twins were finally settling on a new mascot after all these years, and that is what they picked? I mean, come on. What the hell does a bear say about the Twin Cities? And if we want to look at what a bear says about Minnesota as a whole, let's start by making him a real bear. A bear that stands for tearing the flesh off your body and shitting it out next to the river. A bear that would actually inspire players to play well, if by no other means than by pure fear tactics. The Twins should use a bear that means business. A bear that scares the piss out of little kids who grow up to be fans and talk about the time TC Bear made them pee themselves. That should be a rite of passage for children. But now the Twins decided that their mascot should be a 6'4" tall bear that is unbearably heavy, according to the Twins website. And worse than that, he's fucking left-handed. He's the most annoying kind of player there is. TC Bear is not in the same league as a bratwurst, or even a chorizo for that matter. And he's certainly no brewer that explodes into a giant keg in celebration. TC Bear does nothing to move the Twins forward. He shoots t-shirts out of a cannon, rides in the back of the truck, and waves his arms in the air during the 7th-inning stretch like a giant douchebag. I feel like if I got jumped and TC Bear was around, he would just sit there and stare blankly as I got beaten and bled all over the alleyways. You want to talk about real mascots? Real mascots that would have your back? Talk about the Milwaukee Sausages. On July 9th, 2003, Randall Simon, the first baseman of the Pittsburgh Pirates, hit the head of the Italian sausage with a bat and knocked the sausage over. The sausage took the hot dog down with him. The Polish sausage helped the Italian sausage up, and all the sausages finished the race together. Randall Simon was arrested. He was fined and he was suspended for hitting the sausage. Later on, he apologized, and the sausage is accepted. And now they sell t-shirts that say, "Do not whack our wiener." TC Bear has no lore about him. He's a generic soulless bear that can now be purchased in pillow pet form. He symbolizes everything that is wrong with us. I know that you are thinking, come on, Allison, who wants kids to have a mustachioed brewer at their kid's birthday party, or a Polish sausage visiting the dying kids ward at a hospital? All right, I mean, I hear you all, but we should demand mascots that represent their people, their history, their lore. TC Bear represents the over-political correctness that has taken away everything that is raw and real in the United States of America. He is so pure. He simply lords over everybody he comes in contact with. I say make him real, make him bloodthirsty, make him challenging, make him make us want more out of life the same ways that a keg and a sausage do. Thank you.